Good evening. This is a meeting of the Township Committee, September 3rd, 2024. The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times and by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building and filing with the Township Clerk all on January 11th, 2024. Committeeman Clark.
Here.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Here.
Committeeman Sedembrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Here.
Mayor Perry.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence to honor the troops serving worldwide, defending our constitutions, freedoms, and way of life. Thank you. First item on tonight's agenda, we have a presentation recognizing. You don't hear me? Am I coming through? Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't close enough. A presentation recognizing September 2024 as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in the Township of Middletown. At this time, I'd like to invite Turn the Town's Teal volunteer Michelle Collins to please join Mayor Perry at the front of the room.
Well, right. Yeah. So it's our yearly tradition.
It is.
And one that I hope one day we don't have to have. Because, I was talking to another group the other day, 180 Turning Lives Around, and I told them how much I love them. But I hate that they have to exist. And while I am so grateful that you and so many others advocate for turning the town teal, I wish we didn't have to. But before we open this up, one individual that many of you know, because he is a staple here at our township committee meetings, Vinnie Moran, lost his wife Jackie on August 24th of ovarian cancer. So Vin, I'd like you to come up here and stand next to us as we proclaim this month as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. Okay. You take it away first.
Got this. So my name is Michelle Collins. I'm an almost 10-year survivor of high-grade serous ovarian cancer. I'm one of the lucky ones. This is a very deadly disease, as you can see. I've been doing this advocacy work since my diagnosis to raise awareness for this disease. It's rare, it's underfunded. I want to thank Mayor Perry for allowing us to turn the town teal in Middletown. For ovarian cancer stats, there's around 21,000 people diagnosed a year, and around 13,000 will pass away. It's usually diagnosed after the age of 60. I was diagnosed at age 39 with no family history, no genetic mutations, no risk factors. I did everything I was supposed to do. The problem with this disease is there's no early screening test. A pap smear does not detect ovarian cancer. A lot of people think it does. They think they go to their gynecologist and get their yearly checkup and everything's fine. No, ovarian cancer, it doesn't have it has a few early symptoms, but there's no early screening test to find it at the microscopic level. So once a woman has symptoms, it's already advanced. And most of the time, you don't have symptoms when it starts to develop. Researchers have found that it starts in the fallopian tubes. So that's why it's so hard to catch it early, because once it leaves the fallopian tubes, it sprinkles onto your ovary, and by then it's already past stage 1. It's usually, and then it goes quickly from there. It's a very fast-moving disease. We do have really only the same treatments that we've had for the last 25 years. We have some PARP inhibitors that have come out of experimental trials, clinical trials, but there's no chemo drug that is going to fix ovarian cancer for every person. It's really luck of the draw, whether it works for you, whether your surgery is done properly. You should be treated at a major cancer center, have a debulking surgery, and then pretty much everyone who's diagnosed with ovarian cancer goes through chemotherapy, even if you're at stage 1. I wanted to just tell you about a new recommendation for prevention for ovarian cancer. Because we can't detect it early, the new recommendation is for people to have an opportunistic salpingectomy. That is when, if you're going in for some other sort of pelvic or abdominal surgery, you can ask your surgeon to at the same time take out your fallopian tubes so you're not having an additional surgery. If you're done having children, get rid of your tubes, and then that's pretty much will drop your risk to like 10% for ovarian cancer. Ovarian cancer is also related to breast cancer. There's the BRCA mutation. If you have a family history of, or if you know that you have the mutation in your family, you should be tested. If you have relatives that were diagnosed with ovarian cancer, you should urge them or their children to be tested if they're no longer here, because if you know you carry the mutation, you can take action and prevent this from happening. If you have early breast cancer in your family, you should also look into potential genetic testing. I had no mutations, like I said, so that's not always the case to have a mutation, but when you get ovarian cancer. Also, a lot of people don't realize that you can pass mutations from the father down. So it's not only the mother, if the mother has a mutation, you can pass down, but also the father. And men can also carry the mutation, like I just said, and they can be at risk to develop prostate cancer or early breast cancer for men. Lastly, I just want to say to be your own advocate. If anything is wrong, if something's different about what's happening with you, you're having some weird symptoms that aren't going away, don't stop until you get an answer. I want to honor my cousin Christine. She was a really strong advocate for herself. Unfortunately, she was diagnosed 16 months ago and passed away last month. Coincidentally, there's no correlation between my cancer and her cancer. It was a different type of ovarian cancer, and we both had genetic testing and we have no mutations. So it's just like luck of the draw. And she died at age 37 of clear cell ovarian cancer. It's, like I said, it's a tough one. But this is why I do this, to try to fight, raise awareness so you all know what to do and what to look for, and hopefully we will, get better treatments, and an early screening test will be found in my lifetime, but I'm not sure about that. So talk to your doctors.
So obviously we mentioned Christine, we mentioned Jackie, and obviously we can only hope that one day scientists are obviously able to come up with some type of early screening tool that is able, because well, we've done this a few times up here. I don't even know how many years it's been now. But obviously this guy has a tough exterior up here, but behind every tough guy is a tougher woman, right? And
tough.
yeah, and I can feel the love and emotion, and then on behalf of the Township Committee and everybody here, I think I can say that our heart goes out to you and your family. I know you were dealing with a lot. You and I saw each other passing in the halls, and we started talking, and when you come up to that microphone, it's tough guy Vinnie Moran, but I know deep down inside the love and compassion and desire to see your wife Jackie beat this cancer. But while she may not have beaten it, she's still that tough lady looking out for you and being tougher on you, right?
You got that right.
Yeah, good. Very quickly, before I'm going to grab this proclamation here, but I just like if everyone would just quickly join me and stand and honor the life of Christine and of Jackie real quick, and hope that we can all pray that someday an early detection test will be there. Thank you.
He wore heels too.
Yes.
He didn't even realize.
I mean, Michelle, we just met, and she just about went through everything that I was just about ready to say that I knew, okay? But she had it more better than what I'm just kidding.
I've been doing it a while.
She's been doing it longer than I have, because, of course, yes, he's watching me. I understand that. I understand it. Okay? And, it's not easy. It's really not easy. It's hard. Very hard. So please, get tested. Get tested, no matter what it is, get tested. Beat it. We didn't catch it in time. Like I said, we did not know.
It's not your fault, though. It's
It-
impossible.
it was just one of them things that they did a cath and they found it. And like you say, the chemo didn't really help. It was just fine. And it went for 2 months. Suffering. 2 months solid. 2 months solid every day. Now, she's in a bad place.
All right, well, with that, to that point. I gotta be able to read it. Today, I, Mayor Tony Perry, and the Middletown Township Committee do hereby proclaim that September of 2024 is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in the Township of Middletown, and be it further proclaimed, and that this governing body supports the Turn the Town Teal Awareness Campaign given on this day under my hand and the seal of the Township of Middletown. I want to thank you for coming in, and Ben, I want to thank you very much for coming up and saying a few words. I know it's been a tough weeks for you here and a few weeks, and I just want to thank you and know that the town's praying for you.
Thank you very much. All right.
Our next presentation on tonight's agenda, we have a presentation recognizing September 2024 as Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month in the Township of Middletown. At this time, I'd like to invite Andrea Verdone-Gorsigner and Natalie Gorsigner from Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer to join Mayor Perry at the front of the room.
How are you? I love that big hug I just got. I needed it after that. Tara definitely needs a hug after this, so you can accommodate. Well, I didn't, there's a lot of things to be happy about in life, and I think far too often we spend time on the negative things. And I know we just went through ovarian cancer, but September is obviously Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month as well. And again, another organization that I love deeply, that I love the mission. They still haven't gotten me in the tutu at the tutu trot, but I attend the tutu trot. And an organization I know that members of the Township Committee are very close to as well. But every year I talk about all the great things that Infinite Love for Kids does, and from the almost nearly 1,000 people that ran, I think it was this year.
Yeah, just about 1,000.
In the 5K earlier this year. I don't think the speaker system was loud enough for the people in the back to hear you and I, which I think they might have been okay with too, but definitely for me, but not so much for you. But the things that I've learned from organizations like Infinite Love, the things that you don't think about, the costs that incur for families when they receive this diagnosis, the both mentally, physically, financially, all combined. And for a while in my first few years on the governing body, I got to meet some of those kids that had this diagnosis that I don't think phases them up front, and it impacts their family, and you see them and you still feel the love and same joy, even though some of them have lost their hair, some of them look frail, yet you still see the joy in every child's face, and you hope to replicate that in your own body in some way, shape, or form. But Infinite Love for Kids is out there talking about it. Riding on a Peloton for 24 hours, multiple times now, which I'm still jealous about. But the great thing about Infinite Love is that it is a homegrown advocacy group, a homegrown feel where you know the names and you know the families and you know how they're connected to you. And you know, I've talked about Luca Iacono before, talked about his battle, talked about how I as clear as day, can still see Luca coming up to me at Brookdale Community College after he completed the Police Youth Week training. And I still have the picture of him and I, because only just a few months after that did Luca pass away. And his parents, I love seeing around town because their positivity and their advocacy, and his grandparents
Oh my
too.
gosh, they're the best.
But I'll stop rambling, but I'm rambling because I love this organization and I love what they do. And I know they have their Love for Luca 5K coming up on September 22nd.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. And I just hope everybody goes out there and can support in whatever way they can, in whatever small donations they can, and whatever Facebook sharing they can do for this great organization. And we're fortunate to have Andrea and Natalie here to talk about this great organization and everything that they're doing. And
Yeah.
Spotted Lanternfly is behind Thompson, right? So, Andrea.
Yeah, so for those of you unfamiliar, so I started Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer officially in 2013 because my beautiful daughter Natalie here, who will be 15 at the end of September, just started freshman year. We're going to come up on Thanksgiving on her 10th year of being complete with a 2+ year treatment from her very high-risk leukemia when she was diagnosed just before her 3rd birthday, and she's doing great. But, you know, as you said, she's one of the lucky ones. We're one of the lucky ones. During Natalie's fight, it didn't take long for us to find out how similar, how underfunded it is for pediatric cancer research. There are dozens of different types of childhood cancer, and then within those different categories, you know, brain cancer, leukemia, rhabdomyosarcoma, neuroblastoma, Wilms tumor, they all then have hundreds of subcategories. And unfortunately for our kids, because the you know, medications and chemo and everything else is not very profitable, they just don't give a lot for funding. So, you know, the National Cancer Institute, for instance, only gives about 4% of the research dollars for children's cancer. So you think 4 pennies to the dollar, that has to be split amongst those dozen+ different types of childhood cancers. And it's just not practical. So over the years, since I've started Infinite Love, I've met so many different researchers and oncologists from like all over the nation, you know, from MSK to CHOP to Dana-Farber. We've partnered with all these incredible researchers, and they're saying like, hey, listen, we've got ideas, we've got theories, we just don't have the funding. And they depend a lot on the mom and pop foundations like ours to help keep their research labs going and everything. So that's what we focus on. While we are, I'm very proud to say we're 100% volunteer run. So, you know, not a single person on my team takes a salary. We don't have a brick and mortar. So the money that comes into us is really going back out, not just to research, which at this point we've already funded this short amount of time over $2 million to research across the nation, but we also help the families directly. So families just like ours, because when Natalie was diagnosed at the time, even though my husband and his family has been in Middletown for 50+ years, at the time we lived in Rutherford. I worked in Manhattan, and when, you know, you're in your office in one moment and then you get a phone call and you're rushing home, never back in your office, losing a full salary, because, you know, an oncologist is saying to you, hey, someone is gonna have to walk away from their job because taking care of Natalie for the next 2+ years is going to be a full-time job. Having to walk away from that, I mean, we had to put our house on the market the following week. Like, just, you know, we hear the worst news of our lives, but we were like, okay, we can't afford to stay in our home. So that's one of the things that you were saying that a lot of people don't realize. When you have a child who is affected with a disease like cancer, it affects so much more than their physicality. It's just goes right back to the families who now are financially devastated because somebody has to stay home and, you know, take care of the child, and the bills have to get paid. So when we were going through that, we had so many people just come out of the woodwork, people we didn't know, who just helped us keep the lights on and helped us with all sorts of things to get us through that, like, first 10 months, I'd say, before we ended up moving and settling. And that's what we want to do in return. So from the second a family is brought into us, they become our family. So whatever they need help with, like right off the bat, we give them a $1,000 family grant. From there, it's what they need. Like, sometimes we had a family who their car broke down and it was their only car because they had to get rid of their other car. So we paid for the repairs. Somebody, their air conditioner broke, and, you know, a kid who was going through this, they couldn't be in a hot house, so we took care of that. Like, we do all sorts of things like that in addition to fulfilling wishes. One of the kids near and dear to my heart, Angelina, she had a wish to go to Hawaii, and she was also told that she was terminal. So at that point, we had to throw a trip together really quick, and in less than a month, we got her family to Hawaii. So those are the kind of things we do. And for beautiful Luca, you know, we sent he and his family to hockey game, like VIP style, in a limo. And, you know, I still, to this day, regularly see the Iaconos. And because when a family comes to us, it doesn't matter, you know, if their child is lucky enough to be a survivor like my Natalie, or, you know, if God forbid in those situations where the child passes away, or, you know, the child is currently fighting, like, those kids and their families are with Infinite Love forever. So whatever they kind of need, that's like something we just love, is that everything is just so personal. But as far as the Luca run, I just want to, like, specify that, you know, 100% of the proceeds are coming to Infinite Love for Kids, but we didn't organize a thing. That was all done by two amazing women, Lauren Moore and Sam Cutler, and all their wonderful volunteers. These women were so touched by Luca. Their sons were very close with Luca. He inspired them so much that they approached me, I think it was 3 years ago now, and said, hey, we want to do a fundraiser for you, you know, is that okay? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course. And we got to know these wonderful people, and they've been doing it every year. And so far, in Luca's name, they have funded 6 different type of research grants for rhabdomyosarcoma. And Michelle and Frank get to be a part of the entire process. So that's what they're continuing to do year after year, so they can keep Luca's memory alive. Yeah.
Your turn. You want to follow that up? Or?
I don't know if I can beat that. You can't just.
I didn't tell her she would be speaking. I just told her she could walk up.
Donald.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. It's all right. It happens to hide. Don't worry about it.
I know how it feels.
Put on the spot.
Listen, you're not being put on the spot. You're a shining example as to why, what everything that we were talking about, what your mom just talked about, and what all of us believe is that you being here is a blessing for not just your family, but for all of us, in talking about what impacts many families that people don't know. So your presence says everything that needs to be said. So don't worry about that at all. Hybo will give you some tips on how to follow up stuff like that. I'll just read briefly. To help raise, well, I should say this. Middletown Township, along with local nonprofit 501c3 Foundation Infinite Love for Kids Fighting Cancer, is dedicated to educating and mobilizing people about the critical need for funding for pediatric cancer research. And to help raise money for this important cause, the third annual Love for Luca 5K will be taking place on Sunday, September 22nd, in honor and memory of Luca Iacono, a 11-year-old Middletown resident who was taken by cancer in 2019. Infinite Love will also be holding its second annual designer bag bingo and basket raffle. That's got a lot of written all over it, doesn't it? On Friday, October 4th. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Tony Perry, and the Middletown Township Committee do hereby proclaim September 2024 and every September going forward as Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month in the Township of Middletown, and we encourage the community to help keep Luca's memory alive and honor his life by participating in this event. And all proceeds will be given to Infinite Love for Kids for the second annual designer bag and bingo basket raffle event by visiting
Visit our website, Infinite Love for
Infinite Love.
Kids. Oh, ignore that, yeah, infiniteloveforkids.org.
Infinite Love Bingo 2024, given on this day. Thank you so much for everything
Thank
that
you.
you do.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Great job.
Oh,
That's okay.
we take a quick picture and send it to Raven.
Yeah.
All right.
Raven will count to 3 and she'll. There you
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Now like this. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
All right.
Thank
Let's give these guys a round of applause.
I'm so sorry to hear such tragedy you have, but one thing that kind of caught my ear, at least in the child cancer community, I don't know if it's the same for you, but when a child passes away from cancer, we don't like saying that cancer won or that, they lost their battle, because we see it that, I didn't have the pleasure of knowing you, Jack, but from what I've heard, it just seems that it was impossible for her to lose because she was strong until the end, and it seems though she loved you till the end and your family. So cancer did not win because love always wins. So that just wanted to say that she did not lose her battle. She kicked cancer's butt every day because she still loved you every day, loved your family every day, and she fought every day. So cancer did not win.
Well, I think that deserves a round. I told you you did.
Okay, we still have 2 proclamations for the record. A proclamation recognizing September 11th, 2024 as Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance in the Township of Middletown, and a proclamation recognizing September 2024 as National Preparedness Month in the Township of Middletown. At this time, we have public hearing on proposed ordinances. Our first ordinance, 2024-3422, an ordinance repealing and replacing ordinance number 2024-3418, amending and restating ordinance number 2023-3371, solely as to the established fair market value for property identified as Block 1045, Lot 2, Nut Swamp Road, Block 1045, Lot 3, 114 Nut Swamp Road, and Block 1045, Lot 4, Dwight Road, within the Township of Middletown.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2024-3422? Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. Our next ordinance for public hearing, we have 2024-3424, an ordinance adopting the 325 Highway 36 redevelopment plan consisting of Block 238, Lots 5 and 6, and a portion of the Central Avenue right-of-way.
Any member of the public wishing to speak on public ordinance number 2024-3424? Seeing no member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and approve.
Committeeman Clark.
Wait,
Oh, I'm sorry.
we need a second.
Second, I'm sorry.
Okay, Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Recuse.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on second and final reading. At this time, we have introduction and proposed ordinances. Ordinance 2024-3426, an ordinance authorizing lease agreement with the Middletown Township Historical Society for the Historic Railroad Station.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held September 23rd, 2024. At this time, we have ordinance 2024-3427, an ordinance amending Chapter 84-10 of the Code of the Township of Middletown governing special duty rates for police officers.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held 9/23/2024. At this time, we have ordinance for introduction 2024-3428, salary ordinance repealing and replacing introduced ordinance number 2024-3425.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held 9/23/2024. At this time, we have ordinance 2024-3429, an ordinance providing funding for various capital purposes for the Township of Middletown and appropriating $2,200,000 for such purpose.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held 9/23/2024. At this time, we have ordinance 2024-3430, a bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $1,930,000 for various capital improvements by and for the Township of Middletown in the County of Monmouth, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $1,833,500 in bonds or notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held 9/23/2024. At this time, I'd like to ask the Township Committee to adopt a consent agenda, which would include resolutions 24-231 through 24-242.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Committeeman Clark.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, we have Township Committee comments.
All right, Committeeman Clark.
First, Ben, I got to speak to you before the meeting, but again, thoughts are with you, buddy. The Infinite Love Group is a group that I've been close to for a good portion of my adult life, and I'm just glad every year to see that what started out as a little group continually gets more attention and more focus because the sitting township committee, mayor, and everybody else, sorry about that, has done an amazing job of continuing to point attention in that direction. So thank you for that. And lastly, on a positive note, I want to congratulate everybody who started school today, in particular my daughter, who's a freshman today. It's pretty wild. I'm still having a hard time reconciling that, but it was pretty cool to see the start of school today. So good luck to all the students. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeeman Clark. Committeeman Sedambrino.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to take my time just to ask for a moment of silence with regards to the Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month and the pediatric cancer. There's no other words that I can say that haven't been said at the moment. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Committeewoman Kratz.
I'm going to hang on to my comments, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, Deputy Mayor.
Me as well, Mayor.
All right. Just a couple of items. Again, I want to thank everybody who came out tonight for presentations. I want to congratulate everybody on their first day of school today. I was at North, Committeeman Clark was at North, dropping off his daughter. He was holding back a little emotion as we were standing there. But I want to congratulate all the students, teachers, parents on their first day. I was at North, I was at Thompson, I was at Lincroft, and it's the positivity of having their first day of school goes up as you go the littler the kid as they get there. Everybody is excited when you get to Lincroft Elementary and elementary school. Not so much when you're sitting there at 6:50 in the morning at High School North. But it was always great to travel around and welcome the kids back to school. Just a few other items. I want to encourage everybody. As you all know, we have a very exciting, historic, and monumental event that's about to take place in Middletown, being the commissioning of the USS New Jersey. People from all across the state will be coming and descending onto Middletown over the course of more than a week to tour this sub, to welcome the sailors, to welcome them not just to New Jersey, but more importantly to Middletown, as our town has yet another historic event. And if you were one of the individuals selected by the Navy to join us on the pier on September 14th, I hope to see you there. It's going to be an unbelievable event, and more than 5,000 people will be out on that pier, which I hear is okay and safe. When I thought about it, I got a little bit nervous, but this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is only the third vessel to ever be to bear the name of the USS New Jersey, and it'll be an unbelievable event. So when you see, and I want to thank all the businesses that are participating in things, supporting them. Swagger Barbershop providing haircuts to the sailors. Belford Brewery has their own beer that they are coming out with. So when you see all the different organizations and businesses coming together to support these sailors, I got the opportunity to meet Commander Hall, who is a great man, has honorably served our nation for decades. And this is his fourth ship, the first command that he's going to be taking. And it's great to see that him and his kids and his wife are all coming out to celebrate this momentous occasion. And we couldn't be more proud that it's taking place in Middletown. So I encourage all residents, if you see any of the sailors walking around town, please go up to them. Thank them for their service. Thank them for their commitment to the safety and security and of the freedoms that we're all enjoying today. This is a once in a lifetime moment for us. So I look forward to Middletown shining as these sailors come into town. September 11th, anniversary of September 11th is, we're fortunate that we're going to be joined by several of the sailors at our commissioning ceremony this year. As normal, it's a silent ceremony. So I hope everybody can join us. That's on Wednesday, September the 11th, 7 o'clock at the Memorial Gardens. With that, I don't think I need to hit on anything more. I'll open it up for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to make a public comment may do so. Ask that you state your name and address for the record. Ask that you keep your comments to 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, I'll let you know that you have 1 minute remaining. With that being said, any member of the public wishing to make a public comment? Ben, come on up.
Benny Moran, 39 Brevent, Leonardo. I just want to thank you guys. Really, I never thought that it would happen to me or to my wife. Okay? It was tough, and everyone here backed me up 100%, and I love it. And don't be afraid of the pier. It won't fall down. Okay? I've been here for 78 years, and it's still standing. Okay? If not, put a life jacket on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinny. Any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment? Tom, come on up.
Hi, I'm Tom Valenti, 71 Walnut Avenue. I'm the president of the Middletown Township Historical Society, and I just want to give a big thank you to the Township Committee for your service in general, but also for authorizing the lease on the train station. We're going to have a nice 250th exhibit there in 2026, and even beyond, we think it'll be a really nice benefit for the town. So once again, thanks. Look forward to working with everybody.
Tom, I want to thank you. Peter Van Nortwick deserves a lot of credit as well. I want to thank him. You guys worked tirelessly to not only preserve the history of our town, but to put it on display. And we've been talking for a long time now to get the Historical Society into the old train station, which Peter just told me in 2026, when America turns 250, the train station will turn 150. And so we're very excited, appreciate the police moving their facility that they had in there. So the old train station will now be home to the Middletown Historical Society so that they can on display place things that we have here in town, place them there so that people can go and enjoy and learn about the different historical sections of our town, the history that not many people know. I'll just tell a quick story. On one of my office hours where members of the public can come in and talk to me privately about things, Tom and Peter came in and they showed me a document, a military document that was regarding veterans that were living in Middletown at the time, I think, of the War of 1812, right, Peter? Yes. And the unbelievable full circle moment that occurred was the date at the top of that roster was that day that we were sitting in my office. It was the anniversary of this document being drafted, and it was sitting in front of me. And it's all the names that we've all come to know and love here in Middletown from a historical perspective. But the items, the documents, the artifacts that the Historical Society has should be on display. And we're excited that this lease is going to be moving forward at our introduced tonight and then moving forward at our next meeting. So we're looking forward to opening that up and continuing to tell the history of our town. So
Great.
Thank you both.
Too. Thank you.
Any other member of the public wishing to make a public comment? Okay, seeing no other member of the public stepping forward, move to close the public portion and adjourn.
Second.
Yes.
Committeewoman Kratz.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hybel.
Yes.
Mayor Perry.
Yes.
Motion carries to adjourn.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you all.